Welcome, everybody. It's Football Discussion Daily Time. My name is Joe, here with the co-host,
You.
CGO, or George. Today is the 6th of March, 2026. There was a couple games around the league, the various countries, and several games tomorrow. Today in the FA Cup, Liverpool beat Wolves 3-1 after losing to them midweek in the league. In La Liga, Real Madrid needed a last-second winner to beat Celta Vigo. Bayern Munich had a very comfortable 4-1 victory over Borussia Mönchengladbach. Napoli beat Torino 2-1. PSG lost to Monaco 1-3. And then tomorrow we have a couple FA Cup fixtures. Mansfield Town versus Arsenal, Wrexham, Chelsea, Newcastle, Manchester City is probably the biggest one tomorrow. And then a couple more Sunday and Monday that we'll talk about. George, I don't know which of these games you want to talk about. Let's talk about maybe Madrid first. I don't know if you watched the highlights of this game. Did anything jump out at you performance-wise? Did anything jump out at you in terms of just what we've seen from Real Madrid earlier this year versus today?
Well, the most important thing is that at least they are back to winning waves because I remember Madrid has lost two consecutive La Liga games. They lost one game to Osasuna, lost another game to Getafe. So winning this game against Celta Vigo, for me, is a good one. And if you look at it, the winner came towards the ending of the game. That was when Valverde was able to get them the winner. So it shows you that it was a very hard fought victory for Real Madrid because they've been under serious pressure. Now they've closed the gap with Barcelona to 1 point, which means they will be hoping that maybe something, maybe Barcelona, when they play Athletic Club tomorrow, that Barcelona will slip off in tomorrow's game. But if you look at the history between Barcelona and Athletic Club, that is Athletic Bilbao, you will notice that Barcelona always have the edge. So I don't think if Barcelona will slip off, I don't see that happening in tomorrow's game. So it's a good
Yeah,
one for Real Madrid just to keep hope alive and hope maybe things get better in subsequent games. So that's
yeah.
much I can say.
I think La Liga title races are a little less. I mean, the top clubs just tend to drop less points than they might in other countries, in England in particular. So I think that it'll be interesting title race going on here out. From what I saw of the Real Madrid versus Celta Vigo, Madrid were lucky to get 3 points. This
Yes.
was not a great performance. I've a couple times I've seen Madrid this season. I felt they've been reliant on individual quality, which they have a lot of. I feel like they brought in Arbeloa specifically to blow up a structure that Xabi Alonso was trying to implement that he couldn't because players were divas. Nothing I saw today countered that particular narrative. I believe that narrative, but I believe there's also so much quality at Real Madrid that they could possibly make a run in the Champions League just because all of their players are exceptional. Um, but yeah, I still feel like they don't have the grit, and there's one or two roles in that team that are completely missing player profile wise that I feel like are going to cost them in the league this year. When you need to consistently beat teams that are somewhat below you. Very good teams, but
But,
probably not as
but,
talented as
but,
Madrid.
but Joe, don't you think that the team is seriously under pressure? Maybe that's why uh, in this game they couldn't really play so well, but at least the most important thing for them was getting victory. Just like we saw with Arsenal playing against Brighton, this pressure, all they
No,
wanted was just to get the victory.
Madrid is always under pressure, and the better Madrid teams are respond positively to that. The Madrid teams that I feel like are weaker mentally will respond like they did today, like and pull one out of their ass with individual quality. I don't believe that pressure, um, it, that is a narrative should be a narrative that they have pressure on them, so it's okay to play bad. I feel like if you look, you have to look at the entire performance and you see, of course, anything can happen in football, but what is most likely based on today's performance is Madrid are probably going to drop points against a non-Barcelona team in the next 8 games, and it's probably going to cost them the title.
So do you think the way they are playing, they don't stand any chance of um, taking the title away from Barcelona?
Anything can happen in football, George, but I feel like it's very unlikely. I think that it is possible Real Madrid have so much quality, and I saw that even today that they could make a run in the Champions League. Do you agree with that, George? Do you feel like they can catch Barcelona?
I'm not too convinced yet the way because they've been very inconsistent. And one thing that makes me not trust Madrid is teams you expect them to get win against, they end up struggling. Like nobody expected them to drop points against Getafe or Osasuna, but it happened. These are teams that a Barcelona team will be able to deal with. If so, I noticed that Barcelona has been able to deal with lower teams compared to Real Madrid this season. Though we can't write them off, but if you ask me, it seems the league will go to Barcelona, if you ask me.
George, we're splitting hairs between two very good teams. Real Madrid's still on pace. And before these two losses, they were on pace to lose the league with 95 points. I mean, they're still on pace to lose the league with like 88 points or something like that. It's which is an absurdly high level to lose the league with. This Barcelona team is very consistent in the league this season, and I feel like that's going to make them a title. They've dropped points in only 5 games versus 7 for Madrid, which is the difference right now. George, let's move on to PSG versus lost today as well. This is a 1-3 loss. They have won France, 4 or 5 years in a row since Lille won it 5 years ago. Do you feel like their league title risk is at risk? They were the best team in the world last year. They won everything. What do you think?
The issue is that RC Lawrence, who is supposed to give PSG a very good run, uh, might end up also dropping points. That's the problem. The issue is will they be consistent enough to challenge PSG? That's where I have a problem. So even though PSG has lost this game, which I know part of the reason is because their attention is divided. Remember, they were playing Chelsea on Wednesday. So when a team's mind is divided, uh, things like this can happen. Especially because I noticed today's game they didn't start players like Dembele, even though we had some of their good players who also started like Due and the rest of them were in this game. But the issue is a team that has a divided attention, stuff like this can happen. So, but again, PSG they've not been that good like they were last season, if you ask me, because I've been watching them. I've not seen that kind of quality they've exhibited last season. This season they've been off and on. I haven't seen that consistency. You can see that even in the League One. Last season, I think it was even towards the ending of the season when they've already won the league. That was when they even lost a game or two. But this time they're already they're already losing games. So that's quite disappointing. It's not something I expected from PSG. So
Yeah,
it
we'll
was a very
see.
disappointing result considering that they played. I remember they played Monaco in the Champions League. They won the first leg. That was in the home of Monaco. The second leg ended in a draw. So if you look at it, you see that Monaco is one team that normally gives PSG a very tough game. So it's unfortunate they lost the game, but I still believe they'll win the league.
Yeah, I mean, I think this PSG team, yeah, not as good as last year for a lot of reasons, but Enrique is a good coach. It's really hard for me to make judgment because I watch this team a lot less than I do Madrid or Barcelona or any of the English teams. But I do feel like France in general is much better than people give them credit for. I do feel like the France is chock full of many talented players. It tends to be stylistically a lot like the Premier League in terms of physicality, which can be hard week to week to recover from, much more so than Spain or Germany or Italy. And from what I've seen, I feel like that's also something that PSG is challenged with because, again, playing this year, there's a little shorter schedule due to more Champions League games. They didn't get to the directly to round 16 due to the short World Cup. The season's ending a little earlier. There's just 3 games every a game every 3 days, and again, France, just like England, it's a really physical league. really difficult really hard on your body. And a lot of players, when they come to England or France, I feel like really struggle with that physicality at first. But we'll see. It's exciting. That's why we watch the games. I'm excited to see, even if PSG wins, I'm glad that Lens is making them sweat. And I do feel like both those teams will drop points. It won't be one of these teams goes on an 8-game run. And I think they still play each other. So it'll make things even more exciting. All right, George. Liverpool versus Wolves happened today. Liverpool won 3-1. They had quite a good performance. They had goals from, I saw Curtis Jones. They had one from Andrew Robertson. And their other goal was from Salah.
Salah, yeah.
And then Wolves scored, I believe, after it was already 3-0.
Yes.
But I felt this is a fairly routine win for Liverpool. What were your thoughts?
No. I think it shows that Liverpool were not happy they lost a game against Wolves. That game that was played on Tuesday. I'm sure they were very, very unhappy with how the game ended. So it was a very good reaction from Liverpool because Liverpool is a very top club. So you don't expect them to struggle against a team battling with relegation, a team at the bottom of the league. So for me, today's result was a very good reaction. They reacted very well and they really deserve to win because they dominated the game. We saw a Liverpool team that were very out determined to make sure they make a statement. So it was a very good revenge mission, if you ask me, getting a 3-1 victory against Wolves in the fifth round of the FA Cup. So
yeah, George. So one of the biggest differences between today, I felt, and Tuesday is that they actually had a winger in Rio Ngoma who is comfortable attacking a player. Cody Gakpo has not been this season. I've been very critical of him. He has been one of the biggest reasons Liverpool have fallen off. What does he do? I don't know. Like, he can hold up a ball, I guess, decently well. He does run and press.
he was the man
But
of the match. He was even the
Cody
man of the
Gak-
match.
Cody, he wasn't playing winger today. He was playing center forward. That's why.
No, Rio. I'm
Um,
talking about Rio Ngoma.
oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the man
But
of the match.
he didn't score. He didn't assist. But yeah, Rio. Again, from what I saw, he's not scared to run into player. And again, an 18-year-old player, you can't just get rid of Gakpo and throw him on, Rio on next year and expect him to perform this level every single week. Two years down the line, you have to expect this Rio, a player like Rio. Hopefully, he can take that step up and play 90 minutes twice a week, like his talent is showing. But I feel like that's the biggest difference between today and Tuesday. Cody Gakpo has been very weak. They've looked stronger with Rio in there. And he started today. Most of his appearances earlier this year have been 30-minute substitute appearances. I think Slot is doing an exceptional job managing his minutes. Slot has done some very poor things this year as well. But in terms of just managing Rio and developing him, I never heard of, from a player I've never heard of a year ago, I've been very impressed with his performances this year.
No, like Joe, like you said, one of the problems Liverpool have been having this season, the wings has not been very efficient. Like previous season where we had the likes of Luis Diaz and when Salah was still at his best, you will notice that the wingers are very, very efficient. They score a lot of goals, create chances. That is one thing Liverpool has been lacking this season. Like you said, whenever we have Gakpo playing from that left side of the wing, you don't see much productivity from him compared to when we had the likes of Luis Diaz playing from that wing. So I think that's one of their biggest problem, and it's unfortunate that Arne Slot, let me say, he needs to start putting trust and having faith in this young man called Ray Nguma because that might really help them at least in getting things. Yeah.
I disagree that it's a trust issue. I think Slot clearly trusts Rio to throw a 17-year-old player on in a dying minutes of a losing game like they did on Tuesday, to throw him in on these late games is clearly trust. I think that with a 17-year-old, you have to manage minutes. Unless the 17-year-old is Wayne Rooney or Lionel Messi, you cannot play him 90 minutes twice a week, period. A lot of players have been burnt out as 17-year-olds for doing that. I think Slot is doing it really smartly, and it's not a matter of trust. It's a matter of 17-year-old is just not where a 22-year-old is mentally, even if physically and talent and technically they're at the same level. Is my thoughts on this matter.
Like you see, what I'm saying is, I think at let me say the second stanza of the league, we started seeing more of Gomorrah coming in. I think in the
Hmm.
first stanza, we didn't see much of him. There was a time that, in fact, he was not even being used. But now I feel the coach is doing what he's supposed to do, bring him in on, because he may not be able to carry that weight, that kind of pressure, playing full 90 minutes in the Premier League or stuff like that. But like you said, managing him this way, where you bring him in and then he's able to play, I think is something that will help build his confidence, and then he can learn a lot as a young player.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. I mean, it's exciting to see a young English winger. I believe he's chosen England. And so we'll see where that goes. George, to close out today's show, a couple questions. Will Real Madrid be able to catch Barcelona in the La Liga title race? Will Lens be able to catch PSG in that title race? Um, which FA Cup game this weekend excites you? Obviously, for me, I feel like Brentford West Ham, Newcastle Man City is the biggest game. And who do you think is going to win that Newcastle Man City game? And how far can Wrexham go? We'd love to see Ryan Reynolds at Wembley Stadium. It'd be cool to see him in the stands. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear. Thanks.